Greetings, greetings, greetings. Welcome to the Purposeful Productivity Show. Oh my goodness, I see y'all out here. Today is going to be a good one because it's all about you. If you have a question, your question's about the topic we've been talking about all month, which is brainstorming and the 5 steps I've walked through with you to brainstorm a big idea. I will be glad to take those questions and do my best to give you an effective answer today. And I need to get my energy up. So I'm going to get a little bit hype here. So I see some folks out here and this is community day, y'all. It's questions, Q&A. Go ahead and start putting your questions in. You know the drill. Put Q colon in front of it and ask your question. And while you're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and start greeting folks. Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. This man is talking about, wait, I'm first. Am I first? Yes, you were here first early today. Just saying. Yes, 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 yes. Yes. And you got all kind of comments for people. Are you coming after Tora in her red car? Okay. I'm not going to say anything when she comes and gets you. Hey, Frank, glad to have you here. I know you're in the lounge. Uh, with us and you guys are talking to each other. So yeah, Frank had to admit that you're here first, David. Now Denise is even in the comments. That doesn't count. You jumped on early, early, early. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Yes, indeed, he did. Glad to have you, Denise. Hello, Roy. How are you doing? And I'll come back to you a little bit later because I know that we have something we want to make sure everyone is aware of. So I'm gonna start by asking you all a question to get you started thinking and putting your questions in. So the question that I have for you is this. What is your next big idea that you're going to spend brainstorming about? What is your next big idea? Go ahead and put it in the comment. Let me know, let everybody know what it is. It can be any kind of a project. It can be a project in your business, it can be a project in your ministry, it can be a project in your home, it can be a project in your content creation. But what's your next big idea that you really want to invest the time to do brainstorming with? And that you're committed, right? To putting the time in to go through the 5 steps to truly brainstorm that idea. And I see questions starting to come in. I'm going to go ahead and start these so that I can get to them. But you guys put your questions in. And while I'm waiting for your questions, I will just share some thoughts with you because I say I'm not gonna have anything, but I always have something. I really want us to understand that there is a difference between brain dumping and brainstorming. Many times we think just emptying our mind of whatever is on there in onto a sheet of paper, into our task app, into our notes app, wherever we put it is brainstorming. But that's brain dumping, that's clearing your mind, it's getting clear, getting all of the stuff that's been rolling around in your head, um, out of your head so that you can see it objectively. You can think about what it is that you've been thinking about. You can make decisions. Is it something actionable? Is it reference? Is it something I want to come back to? Is it a project that I want to take on? Is this thing urgent? So that's clearing your mind or brain dumping. Brainstorming, as we've talked about over the last few weeks, is more about taking a central idea and fleshing that out to what you really want, not a whole bunch of different ideas, but a central idea. Now, you may have other ideas that spawn off of that central idea, but you're really focused on working out what that central idea is that you want to tackle, and that you know what to do. You want to know what to do with it. And sometimes in that brainstorming process, you find out this idea is not something that I really want to tackle. And that gives you the freedom. You don't have to throw that work away. Just put it to the side and start on another one. We underestimate how much we can accomplish in a longer period of time and overestimate how much we can accomplish in a shorter period of time. I also am because I one of our community members, Tora, says this all the time. She says, I have two PhDs, probably have done it or probably have had it done to me. And so I don't have to say I probably have done it. I can tell you for sure I have done it. Where I've underestimated the amount of time, how long it would take me to do something in the short term and underestimated what I could accomplish in the long term. One of the things that helped me is this brainstorming idea, just really taking a central idea and working with it. And it doesn't have to be huge, it doesn't have to be the next house you're building, it can be something relatively simple. But you need to think about it, you need to weigh it, you need to answer the questions that are rolling around. So, David Hunt shared his next thing, and I'm going to share it. If David, I'm going to share this because you're doing some fantastic work with your content, working on a series based on your new series called Men of Freedom, meaning my live stream reacting to the series. Interesting. Your live stream. Okay. Yeah, that is a interesting approach. How your live stream acting to tying your video series into your live stream. A little bit of what I'm doing today. So awesome. Roy says, I have been spending so much time brainstorming and researching that I haven't made any new content. Less research and more creating. And again, I didn't get into the researching piece. I went into the brainstorming piece more um, than I did the researching, because the researching could be part of is not only could, but it is part of your action plan. So your central idea is what I want you to focus on with respect to brainstorming. And it's not brainstorming everything. Denise says absolutely underestimate what I can accomplish in a short term. And your big thing that you are brainstorming is working on a grocery budget challenge for May. Ooh, interesting. Yeah, that use what you got in your fridge and in your pantry show you all did Wednesday. I was like, yeah, I needed that. I needed that. And I'm going to say hello to one of our moderators who joined, and I want to go all the way back up to when you joined. Hello, Miss Ananea. So glad to have you in the building with us. So, gang, get your questions in. I've only gotten one question so far, so I'm going to go ahead and start with that one. And the question is, what's the value of getting a coach to help with the brainstorming process? What's the value? So I'm going to break this down in a couple of parts. Value is in some ways subjective. And by that, I mean you have to determine what is valuable to you. So your value is subjective to you. If I say objectively, just kind of some of the things that I would consider in figuring out the value, it's saving me time, learning, meaning I'm not going to spend as much time figuring out how to brainstorm if I'm not familiar with it, because I've got somebody to be with me to help me get over that learning curve. The second thing I would consider And for me, that will be valuable is to have someone that I can bounce ideas off of and get feedback, especially when it's someone who has done what I want to do. And here's the thing, I learned this. Work with someone who has accomplished the thing that you want to accomplish or who has gone further in an area than you have gone. If, for example, and I'm going to pick on you, David, since this is your question, if you're looking to brainstorm a new album, don't go to somebody who's not an accomplished musician and ask for coaching help. Why? They don't have the level of knowledge in being a musician that you already have. So what they would give you would be minimal because they just don't have any experience in that area, in that market, in that industry, in that topic. So the value I would consider is what does this person have experience with that I'm seeking to get brainstorming help with. Now, if it's just general brainstorming, you can go to somebody like a Florence, right? There are things that there are topics, specific topics I can help with, but the general process, I absolutely can help. But if you're digging into a particular area, make sure you're going to someone who is experienced in that area and has accomplished what you want because they can tell you as you're brainstorming, hey, you're answering this question. Here are some things you want to think about. So, getting a coach and be aware of a coach and a mentor are different. So, getting a coach is really someone who can guide you step by step through the process. A mentor is going to be different, but getting a coach is different. And again, know whether you're trying to brainstorm, you're trying to understand general brainstorming. And I would say a good place to start is the blueprint as a worksheet. But if you want more, or you have a particular area of content or idea or business or ministry, whatever it is, make sure you find a coach who has experience in that area. If you have a follow up question, let me know, David. I wanted to dig into that a little bit more than on the surface. All right. I just saw. Okay. Hey, Laura Thompson, I'm going to go ahead and throw your question in here as well while I'm saying hello. Greetings. Glad to have you here. Um, and I do I want to share something with you that happened today. And I know you'll have an appreciation for. But your question is, what is the one technology aside from AI in general you had to pick to, if you had to pick to learn deeply right now, you would? Make sure I understand the question. What is the one technology aside from AI in general, if you had to pick to learn deeply right now, you would? So let me, this seems, it's kind of a two-part question. AI in general, I actually know AI quite well. I'm actually certified in AI for those who don't know, because because of the nature of my profession, and it was something I needed to go through. So for 18 months, that took me about that long to get through all of the levels of certification we had to go through. I don't talk about it a whole lot because it's really the area that I work in is pretty specialized. It's not general. Um, So beyond that, so for me, AI in general is not a topic because of the nature of the way I work with the technology and the concepts and the solutions that are involved with. Um, Another technology that I would want to learn, what I'm learning right now is video editing. And I know that the one take or live to drive, and I'm using that more, but I'm also learning video editing, and I really wanna understand it to be able to tell a story with video much better than I'm able to tell it now, and that takes skill set. It's not only learning the technology, it's learning the principles and learning the concepts and how to put the story together, because then when I go into the editing software, I know what the outcome is that I'm looking for. I've already made that, um, decision. Okay, I see your clarification. Is there one AI in particular or one application that has AI integrated that you would learn? Would it be Canva or ChatGPT in general? So, a particular AI application, I'll tell you one that I'm actually studying and getting pretty good at. Um, and this is separate from my profession, so that's why I'm gonna talk about it, because the stuff with my profession, most of it I can't talk about. I'm using a tool called Alphana, Alphana dot AI. And the reason I started using it was because it allows me to build prompts and put them together in unique workflows, so that either audio or video content, sometimes I will just simply record in my phone, turn on a recorder that is on nearly every phone that's made today, and just talking to it. But I'm not talking, asking questions the way some people are going back and forth with ChatGPT. It's not that. It's I've already decided what I want to talk about, and I record it, I voice record it, nothing fancy. But then I take that audio file, load it into Alphana, and then I turn that audio file into different types of content. And it's no limit because I can stack the prompts together to create what I want. And the prompts, the content is then created off of what I've said, not off of a crawl that's going out pulling information from here, there, everywhere. And I really, really like it. And I what I like about it is I can build these workflows the way I want them to be. So that's one. It's Alphana.ai. And I have an affiliate link if you're interested, let me know and I'll make sure I get it to you. So Miss Denise says, what is the best way to track the threads from the brainstorming session? Track the threads from the brainstorming session. I'm going to answer this, but I'm not 100% sure I understand what you're asking, but I'm going to take a stab at it. And if you want to share clarification, please do. Um, as I read this and interpret what I think you're asking, is you have the brainstorming session or sessions, is probably going to be more than one, and you've got threads of content or ideas that shoot off. So you've got, like I showed in the mind map, and you want to keep track of all of those ideas. An easy way to do it is really what I showed you when I showed the did the mind map, is use something like that mind mapping tool that you can convert it to an outline. Then you can take that outline and put it in any other tool. You can, and then you can flesh it out further from there. And if you change it, you just re-export that outline. And you can put it in a Google Doc, a Word doc, a spreadsheet, a Apple Notes. You can literally take that text and export it and put it in nearly anything. And that won't throw your threads away. And it also organizes it so that the big buckets are kept together. Like old fashioned, probably what you taught some of your students to do, how to actually create an outline. And it will do that. Yep, exactly. So each um, piece of the mind map spins off an idea, and so or a section or concept. Like the mind map that I used, tool that I used and showed you, it'll turn that into an outline. So then you can take that outline and put it anywhere you want. Anything that you use. If you use Google Docs every day, put it in there or regularly. If you use Apple Notes, put it in there. If you use Evernote, put it in there. If you use Notion, put it in there. And then continue working with it. Because once you transfer that mind map in outline form into the next tool, don't go back to the mind map. You've cooked that part, you've got it where you want it. Now move on to the next stage. So that is that. Any other questions? Let me look. Make sure that I did not miss somebody. I did not yet. All right. This may be a really short session. So I just want to remind you all that if you have not, what is your next big idea that you're going to brainstorm? Share that in the comments with us so we can. Number one, I want you to celebrate it. And I want to celebrate with you. And I would love for the community to celebrate with you, but also hold you accountable. Hey, are you doing the thing? You know, David, I see the work that you're doing. Roy, you're seeing you're not making content, but I'm seeing content. So for you, I would love to know where you, from your perspective, where you're stuck, or how much do you expect you've told yourself you want to produce that you're not producing. If you've told yourself I want to produce a new video every day and you're producing a video once a month, there's your gap. So what expectation did you set for yourself? And then what's the reality of where you are? Not how you feel about it, but the hard, cold numbers. Example, in March, I set a goal to publish a video. I didn't say create a video, I said publish. Publish a video every day. I was doing great up until the second week of the month. Then my life took a turn, and I had to literally say, okay, where you are right now, Florence, this is not tenable. So, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to be frustrated, or are you going to address the reality of where your life is right now? It wasn't a bad turn, it just was going to require a whole lot more of me than I anticipated. Give you an example. I was up working at 3:30 this morning. That'll give you an example. So, what is the gap between your expectations and your reality? Maybe that's one of the things you can sit down and you work through in a brainstorm fashion. What is it I expect of me versus the reality of what I'm doing, what I'm producing? So we're talking about being productive, not being busy. What's the difference? Okay, we got a couple of other questions came in. So Denise, she says, I get so scattered sometimes. I'll put notes in Apple reminders, then put some somewhere else. How do I get consistent? Um, make a decision. Step one is making a decision. Making a decision about what the tools are that you're going to use. If you use Apple Reminders and Apple Notes, you can link together. So if your go to is your phone, your iPad, your whatever, and you're going to use those two pieces, those two apps, they work well together. It's just then you've got to commit, make the decision to commit and learn how to work with them together so that you're not taking and putting information here, there, and everywhere. And I know you're similar to me. I love to write things down on paper. And I do write things down. I write information down on paper all the time. Anything I write on paper that I want to keep and refer to later, I take a picture of it and I put it in my notes app. You can take a picture of it with your phone or your iPad and put it in Apple Reminders. You can put it in Apple Books, especially if it's a PDF. Actually recently started thinking about, do I want to move my PDFs from where I keep them and put them in the Books app for a number of reasons. Haven't convinced myself yet, but thinking about it. So make a decision, pick what you're going to use. There's no perfect app, they all work. They will all work. The key is us working them. I use Evernote, as you all know. And as much as I tinker with other things just to make sure I'm aware of what's happening, but my core of note taking comes back to Apple Notes. I mean to Evernote. And the reason it comes I'm reading Apple Notes on from you, Denise. The reason it comes back to that is I have set up workflows over a long period of time and they just work. They work one right after the other for me. But that didn't happen overnight. It didn't happen when I first started using it. It happened by me using it and repeatedly and going back and reminding myself that I said, I'm going to learn how to use this. And so I'm going to use it in reality. And then I got consistent. That's where the consistency is really going to come from. It's building the habit. Go back to the January content. It's building a habit. Really, truly, that's what it boils down to. Let's go back. And David has another question here. Uh, that was a great answer. I want to make sure that the next guy, gal, get the notion that they should encourage help from someone with the expertise in the arena of stuckness. Hope you are understanding. Expertise in the area of stuckness. That's a new one. The area of stuckness. Um, yeah, make sure you are intentional about what you and where you need the help. Um, the example I will give is when I was learning how to run a project to implement an ERP, I did not go to program managers who had never implemented an ERP, enterprise resource program. They they wouldn't know what I was talking about. I didn't go to someone who was an expert at implementing an electronic health record because I wasn't trying to implement an electronic health record. So I needed someone with the mind to understand how to implement this enterprise resource program. When I was learning how to live stream, I didn't go to people who had never live streamed before. I went to people like Roy, who had been live streaming longer than me, who knew more about it. So making sure you're picking and choosing the people who are far enough ahead of you and be aware of this, but don't have them so far ahead of you that they can't even relate to where you are. Example. If you came to me today and you were brand spanking new, just getting started with program management, I would be terrible for you. Why? I've been doing it for so many years. things that just click for me and they make sense for me, I wouldn't even think that you would need to have an explanation. I would not be good for someone who's brand new learning how to do project management and program management. And program management is different. They use some of the same skills, but the level that you work with. I will be terrible at it because things that I do now because I've done it so long and they become a habit, I would be using terms that you wouldn't know what I was talking about. And I wouldn't think to explain them to you because they're just natural to me now. David, in your case, if I came to you today and said, teach me how to play the piano the way you do, that may not be so good because you've been playing for so long that if you don't regularly teach others how newbies, brand new, don't know how to hit a key, how to play the piano, may not be the best thing. Not saying it isn't, I'm just saying it may not be, just as an example. So making sure you pick someone who's ahead of you, but not so far ahead of you that they can't relate to where you are. Hope that makes sense. Like I'm learning Final Cut. I've had to scale back who I go watch videos from because some of the people that were recommended to me, they're so advanced that everything they're saying is going over my head. I'm like, no, I need Final Cut Pro for Dummies level at this point. And that's not to, I'm not a dummy and I'm not saying it in a pejorative sense, but I need that very basic getting started level of understanding. So, any other questions? I'm checking. And I know, so while I'm giving you an opportunity to ask another question, I do want to let everyone know, all seven of you, if you have not given me the thumbs up button, give me the thumbs up today if you're getting value from what we're sharing. But I do want to let you know Tuesday night, Tuesday night, the 29th at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central, I will be on Tech Troublemakers show. We're going to be talking about getting unstuck, I think. Whatever it is, I'm going to show up. I'll be prepared by then. I promise you, I'll be prepared by then. Uh, so I'm excited to be back on Roy's show. He has started, Roy, I would say you're starting the same genre of content, but you're shifting where you're going with it a bit. And you do have a second show, Control Alt Roy, that you've started, a second channel, Control Alt Roy, that you've started. And I'm presuming, and you can correct me, you've decided the lane you're going to drive on and in on Tech Troublemaker, and you're going to stick to it. I hope. I hope. So, any other questions? So, I'm excited for May, the topic that we've already worked out. I'm excited for what we'll share with you all in May. And as you all know, I do a theme a month, and it's some something specific, and that gives me enough time to work through it and really decide and share enough depth with you that it's not scattered, and it's the way my brain works. So it's working quite well. Any other questions? If there are no other questions, and it is 7:04 p.m. Eastern, I'm not going to hold you here. I'm going to say thank you all for showing up. I appreciate each and every one of you. David, you made it first. Mama, I made it. Um, and you guys asked some great questions. My heart's desire is that I gave you valuable answers that you can do something with, and you can take and apply in your own systems and your own workflows with your own projects, your own products, your own concepts, your own business and ministries. Um, Miss Denise, you're getting close to that 100,000, ma'am. Come on, let's get across that finish line. And if there's nothing else, I will say to you all, check out one of the videos that'll be popping up on the screen once this is processed, and I will see you all in the next video. And if you didn't notice, I'm dropping a video on Monday and Wednesday, and I'm probably gonna pick another day of the week and probably like Saturday to drop a video. I'm improving and shifting myself. So come along for the ride and glad to have you all here with me this evening. And I will see you next time. Be blessed.